On Tuesday, we are looking forward to the quarterly one earnings call of the Tesla, of the all that, and finding out just how great or brutal Q1 really was. Joining me to answer some of the burning questions about what to expect on the Q1 earnings call is Mark from the Tesla Life. He hangs out with me sometimes. I don't know why, but I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. Oh, Mark, you have been studying Tesla, not just casually, but in depth for many years now. Your podcast has been running, what, 7 years now?
Yep.
Unbelievable. You have seen a headline or two in your time, and not just seen them, but studied them, which is why I thought I would bring you on to help me chew through some of the top and surely most genius questions on Say Technologies. It's where you get to vote with your shares on what questions should be asked, regardless of whether or not they will. Hey, quick thanks to new YouTube channel members, Martin, Peter, William, and John Doe. And I thought that name sounded familiar, so I Googled him. Oh, it's tragic. Tragic. Found the remains. It was a homicide, I'm pretty sure.
Stop right there, Brian. Don't bother.
So yeah, there's the earnings. You can submit a question. You can you have to register your shares so they know that you're a real person, and then you can vote on them. Apparently 1 million Tesla shares are represented by the following question. Following Tesla's Robotaxi unveil on 8/8, what's the realistic timeline for launching a revenue-generating Robotaxi network? Do you think they will answer this? And do you think there's an answer?
Oh, there's an answer, and they're definitely not going to give it. They're going to stay way clear of that. They do not want to lead a forward-leading answer like that when so many things are up in the air. Regulatory problems, the actual hardware that they're going to unveil on the 8th possibly. There's so many questions about this, and I understand why people want to know the answer, but this is not early days with Elon where he would just answer anything in the question period. This is the more experienced Elon that will say, you know what, it needs its own event. We're not going to say anything about that.
I am with you 100% on that. This is a forward-looking statement. An earnings call is a backward-looking statement. There are some bits of guidance you can give. The real trick on that one is if you want that question answered, you have to surprise him with it. Because if he has time to think about it, he'll have time to know, I can't answer that. That's not one I can cover. Hey, can we make FSD transfer permanent until FSD is at least fully delivered with level 5? Okay, you can't transfer it with level 5 because your car has a steering wheel. Level 5 does not. But level 4, I know what you mean. It's still fine. Can we make... So what do you think of that? First of all, will they answer it?
I don't think so. I think it's a thorny question as well, where there's real revenue to consider here. When you make a statement about, yeah, it's permanent. There's no way they're going to say it's permanent during an earnings call. There's just no way, because it's too thorny of an issue that they will have a hard time going back on it if it's been recorded that, yeah, it's permanent going forward. That's just not going to happen.
I agree entirely. It's too big of an ask, and it's a lever. It's a lever that they use when they need to move some units or get some extra revenue by not moving units. What's a timeline for the release of the robot?
Oh my gosh. Who's putting these questions out?
I assume they're all Ross. What is progress on the cheaper next gen vehicle?
Okay, as somebody that's just sitting out in the audience, these are questions you would love to have answered.
Absolutely.
But come on, this is an earnings call. This stuff is not going to be answered because it's not about the earnings that have just happened in the previous quarter. You may get a comment here and there about how maybe there's going to be a development day in the future that's to be named, but my gosh, asking for specifics is just not going to happen on future products.
Have any of the legacy automakers contacted about licensing FSD in the future? I feel like this was answered last
It
quarter.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did answer that loosely.
loosely.
They had said there has been some interest, but they were not going to go into any details about who they were or what they were asking about specifically. They just said we've had some conversations.
Yeah, early discussion is very normal. These people all know each other. They all are in the same kind of circles. CEO circles are not very large. There's not very many of you, and they talk. They talk about all kinds of things related to business, and that's why the Ford supercharger thing was announced after it was a done deal.
Yeah.
What's the progress on Cybertruck ramp up?
Oh, they'll answer this. There would be no problem with that
Yeah.
because this is about how things are going presently, and they will be happy to talk about how this is a brand new manufacturing process. This is not the same old vehicle that we have to put together. This is something that we've had to evolve on based on the actual production of the vehicle and make changes on the fly. They love to talk about that kind of thing, and they'll say ramp is going as expected.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went one step further and said, we have had burst rates of, not sustained, but we have done burst rates of and some number. But if you want to know the answer on Cybertruck ramp, watch my videos. Watch Joe Tegmeyer's videos. He shows you from the sky. You can, I mean, yeah, it takes time, but you're asking a guy, a CEO of a company, to do your homework for you. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this answered, hey, what are Tesla's main priorities and focus going into this next quarter? I think that's a reasonable question, but I don't like calling people stupid. But sometimes if the dunce cap fits,
Like this is an elementary question. Like it shouldn't be asked at an earnings call because we all know what the main priorities are. It's first of all, it's to get up to scale on the vehicles you're producing. It's to sell those vehicles and effectively move them around the country so that you can actually collect the money from them. Like that's the main thing. It's the main thing about business. It's something that, yeah, we've got a new product in Cybertruck. We have to get it ramped up and scaled up properly. We've got Model Ys that are rolling out of Texas. We've got some plants that we're starting to develop. There's Mexico. There's a number of things that are going on. I don't know. This is not really getting at what we need to get at in an earnings call.
if I said to you, hey, I've got a client and I can't tell you what company it is or what industry it is, but it's a Fortune 50 company, Fortune 100 company, and they've asked me to help them answer this question. What is their focus and priority going into next quarter? You could give me the answer. You'd say, increase deliveries, increase revenue, streamline operations, and move forward with exciting new things. It's the same answer for every company every quarter. Main priorities and focus is that. Uh, and if it's something else, I don't think they're going to say. Would you say?
Yeah, you'd want to keep that quiet if it was something out of left field.
What's the current status of 4680 and the current output?
They might answer some of this.
Yeah.
They've been happy to talk about 4680 development. They've
Mm-hmm.
been happy to talk about milestones that have been reached, like 10 million units, and they've been talking about how they're putting in more and more actual conveyor systems in Giga Texas. They're adding lines. That they talked about the cattle acquisition of more batteries. Like they could answer some of this.
Or again, you could just watch my channel and find out how many Cybertrucks and then divide and multiply that number by the known number of cells in the truck. And that's the answer. Oh, I swear. Hey, what's the timeline for scaling the semi? That was the joke I made. No, that was the joke I
Yeah,
made on your show. Was about yeah. When
yeah.
that's the joke I made. I remember
Semi is
now.
certainly something that is not jumping out with the number of units that they're actually delivering. We heard just today or this morning that there's a second company now that is going to be testing the Semi, just 2 units, so it's not huge, but Martin Brower is going to
Brower?
be taking a couple of units and testing them out of Stockton, California. But
I think they
this
already have. I think they've been testing them for a
they
while now.
have them. They have them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is a question when it comes to the Semi is that they're actually field testing and modifying the vehicle based on the information they get back from the drivers and the companies that are using it. So this is something where you're not going to want to roll out a whole bunch of semis if things are being updated and modified as you find information from the field.
This next one I like. Not only is it worded succinctly, but I think it's a good question. What is gating the production ramp at Lathrop? Where do you see the Megapack run rate by the end of the year? I think they can answer that, and I think they will. I think they would answer it. I don't know will. Nobody knows will.
Yeah.
It's only 285 votes so far, but these are early days. We might have another one of these a little later on, but I don't know the answer to this, but I think it's a good question.
Yeah, and you talked about how Joe is down in Giga Texas counting cars with his drone. I got to believe that I've seen many pictures of Lothrop's parking lot in the back as people are counting Megapacks that are sitting there for delivery. So that type of thing is happening as well.
So that's friend of the show, Bradford Ferguson, who went down at least once or twice and spent whole days watching what's going on, just observing from across the street and seeing what they're up to. And then you've also got a channel on YouTube called Met God in Wilderness, who does regular flyovers of the Tesla Fremont factory, but he'll also go down to Lathrop. It's not far, and show you what's going on there. And what's neat is you look at it and it's an outbound logistics lot full of what looks like from a distance shipping containers, and every one of them's $2 million. So yeah. I think it's very exciting. I think the big surprise is we might see better revenue this quarter on Megapack than we have in past quarters, because it takes time to get paid. It's not like a car where you get paid on delivery. There are milestones and you get paid on each of them. And the final payment is when it's electrified and actually put into service. Final completion. Can we get an announcement and timeline for the $25,000 vehicle? No. Yes, August 8th. August 8th is when you can get an official announcement. Maybe it'll have a timeline, but I can give you a timeline for the date. FSD seems to be ready for level 3. Any plans to capture value there? Capture value. Do you think that would that increase the take rate?
Or is this something about being able to unlock revenue that is locked up because FSD isn't quite finished now, based on the amount of money that people spent at the beginning for the whole package?
Oh, I like that. I think a better question on that would have been, how much FSD revenue has been recognized? What percentage, and at what levels are you going to unlock more of that? The beauty of a subscription model is you get to count the revenue, 100% of it, the month it is paid. Because at the end of the month, you've provided a service, that service has been rendered and is in the past. But with sales of FSD, you can only count a percentage of it. And if I was Tesla a year ago, I'd be starting to sweat a little bit, and I would be increasing the price of FSD just so that people don't buy it. So I don't know. I think that's a decent question. Don't know if they'll answer it. We'll do one or two more. Let's see if there's any good ones. Will Tesla allow the purchase of the vehicle after the lease ends? Is that something you think might change?
Will they allow the purchase of the vehicle after the lease ends?
Yeah, because right now, normally you can buy out your lease for the residual value, but Tesla hasn't been allowing that since 2018 because they were confident they would take them all back, have a Robotaxi fleet, and make money. And then
that's not the case.
They got lucky. The used car market 3 years later was very robust, and they made a fortune, which artificially inflated the gross margin for that period of time when used car prices were more than new car prices. So they made a lot of hay during that sunshine. I think the answer to that would be we'll wait and see what residual values are. If the residual value is higher than what we can get for it ourselves, once you factor in any reconditioning, the cost of actually inventorying it, I think they could allow it, but I don't think that they would announce it.
I think that I think they would want to do that, but I wonder if they have the space to hold on to them. Like they're not being turned into robotaxis regardless. So where is that unit going to sit as it waits for robotaxi to appear? And can it even be used for that? I think we've gone by that, and I think Tesla's going to go with their new model on 8.8. And they're not going to be trying to recondition older Model 3s or Ys into taxis.
I think that future is beyond the horizon, and I am uncomfortable making projections beyond the horizon. This is beautiful. I hope you're actually sitting down and not just a severed stump, because what is the progress on the March of Nines on FSD? Please provide a timeline on when the first few Nines can be produced. How will Tesla prove the March of Nines to the public? And can Tesla publish a detailed report every quarter regarding FSD efficacy?
Wow.
Wow. That is, I mean, you are reading the back label at the vitamin store. There is, sure, I can tell you when the next 9 is coming. 2 weeks. And there'll be another 9 on 9/9. I think we're going to have one. And we expect another 9 or 2. I mean, what are you talking? It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. If you'd like to ask about disengagement reports, we can do that. But disengagement, I disengage every time I drive. I disengage at least once when I get to my destination, and I disengage, and it says, "Hey, you disengage. What's up?" And I click the button and I say, "We have arrived. This is my destination. Thank you for your service."
Yeah, that's something that Brian, that look at the past record as to when FSD is coming. What 2 weeks. It's something that is so cannot be narrowed down because they don't have that type of granularity as to what the issues are as they're fixing the previous issue.
You're asking me to tell you when we will arrive in uncharted territory. And if you'd like, I can tell you more 9s. We got more 9s, my friend. I don't know what they're asking for, and I don't know how I would give it to them. And any metric I can think of. Disengagement sounds like a good one, except that I know most disengagements are, like the other day I was driving home and I disengaged because I want to take this exit and just see what there is to eat. That's a real does that count as a safety issue? Is that a safety?
No.
Well, right, but if you make us publish a disengagement report, that would be in there, and it would be misleading and not helpful. It'd be more noise and less signal.
Maybe they need to add a button to the disengagement when it happens, just to say indicate that it's driver selection.
But why? Why bother? We can leave reports. So I don't know, man. I don't know. In the comments, what I'd like to know is, what are your questions? What are your burning questions that you would ask if you got up on the microphone and dropped that funky beat? I am tired, Mark. I have had a long day. I've been doing this all day, getting content ready. So, yeah, do me a favor, would you guys subscribe if you haven't, but head over to The Tesla Life, got it right, and subscribe there as well, because it's a very small channel and it'll make a big difference, and they do great work, and they're a lot of fun. There's 3 of them hosting regularly, and I like them all. That is so rare on a 3-person panel. Yeah, and I haven't met any of you in person yet, which is, but I'll be meeting you in June when we are both going to be attending the event in Muskegon for the Michigan Owners Club. A lot of fun. You can Google Michigan Owners Club. I'll try and remember to throw a link up. I might forget, but there's a lot of great stuff. I'll probably meet Patrick at some point. He lives like an hour from me, but we don't go to the same events. So, which is just a fun little poke at Patrick, because he doesn't go to the events. He's kind enough to promote them, but he doesn't have time. You know, he's got kids and all that. So, I have kids, but you can keep them. So that's not true. So yeah. What did we miss? What do we misunderstand? Let us know what questions you want answered. Maybe we'll even answer them. And stay tuned, stay juicy. And I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, after the inevitable bloodbath for earnings.